watching the platform, and I'm tuning in live. Hey, follow me on Instagram at DJJoy334. You already know what's going on. Free my grandma. Hey, we on the platform. What's up?
This is your boy Young Road. Right now, it's the Wake Up Montgomery show, and we have to my right my co-host,
Comedian Blueski Blue. What's going on?
What's going on? And in the middle of us today, we have our special guest, County Commissioner Doug Singleton. Pleasure to have you on the show.
Glad to be here. I feel like an Oreo right here in the middle. You the comedian, so I don't want to take
I'm the
all
comedian.
right
Nah, you right on. You right on.
Man. So definitely, we want to get into this interview, and we definitely want to address some issues that's been going on. First thing off the top, let's address the shooting at the carnival.
Yeah, now that carnival, we actually talked about, because again, I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club, and we do the Alabama National Fair every year. We have given away over $7 million back to the community through the fair.
Wow.
And I'm also on the fair board. If I live long enough, I'll be the president of the fair in 4 years, right behind Derek Cunningham. Derek's right ahead of me. But Randy Stevenson, who is the manager and general manager of the fair, called me before they had this carnival at the Eastdale Mall. It's a little different. What they had was a carnival. What we have is a fair. Let me tell you some of the differences, because Randy called me. He was concerned because they'd had some problems in the past there.
Right.
And being a bad look for the fair or bad publicity for the fair, but we're entirely different. The one that was at the Eastdale Mall is a carnival. It comes in here as a carnival. It's a traveling type show. There's no fences or no gates. There's no admission charge to get in. So anybody can just walk in from the parking lot. In contrast to what we do at the Alabama National Fair is that we have only 2 gates. It's at the Coliseum. There's only 2 ways to get in and 2 ways to get out. When you walk up to the Coliseum for the Alabama National Fair, which starts October the 9th, you'll be met by sheriff's deputies. They will take your temperature. They will check your bags. It has to be a clear bag. We do not allow any knives, weapons, nothing at all. If you walk up there with a pocket knife, we're going to keep your pocket knife, or you need to take it back to your car. And when you walk into the fair, we have so much security. I mean, if you've ever been, every 30 steps you take, you'll see a police officer. The fair is the safest place in Montgomery, Alabama for 9 days, from October the 9th through the 18th. You won't find a safer place. We have had very limited issues in the past. Maybe a couple of people getting into a little push and scuffle like that, but the police are on top of it so fast. And we have 50 police officers on the grounds, and we have at least that many undercover in suits without undercover, so you don't even know who's there. But we make it. Yeah. I mean, that is not the fair. One, you won't get in to start with, and the second, when you get in there, if you're in there looking for trouble, you're in the wrong spot.
Oh yeah.
So the carnival had no affiliation with the Kiwanis Club.
Nothing at all. They're just a traveling, and you see them in parking lots of strip malls on occasion. They travel in. We charge admission to get in, and it's not free. Now some nights it's a $2 night. Some nights it may be a canned good or something. But we have everybody come in through the same entrance and out. So It has nothing outside of having rides, like we have rides. And other things we're doing this year, because of the COVID, we're not having any concerts inside the Coliseum. We're gonna have outdoor stage. My guys here will be performing there, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit more tonight. But there's no concerts inside because that's where the crowd gathers.
Right,
inside the Coliseum. There'll be no money giveaways. So we've had the big money giveaways.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, though, but that attracts crowds because you
Right.
have to be in there. So we're not doing that. We normally have 64 rides. We're gonna cut it down to 32 so we can space people out.
Okay.
But we'll still have shows and the different things that people like to do. And all the food is gonna be there. All the restaurants, all the food vendors.
Okay.
Now I have one question about
Sure.
the food. You know, the food area.
You don't look like you eat much. I'm surprised.
I eat a lot. I eat a lot. My only issue with the fair is the funnel cakes. You
Funnel
know,
cakes.
the price of the funnel cake is a little bit too high.
They
you
put
know.
out in them funnel cakes.
Yeah, the funnel cake was like $12.
Yep.
And I was like, man.
I mean, that is one thing. It is the food is probably a little expensive. I got to admit on that.
A little.
But we
A
kind of
little.
leave that up to the food vendors. And I mean, there's so many out there that they have to compete with each other.
Right.
But you're right. You know, those foot-long corn dogs are $7, $8.
Yeah, man. You know, and the drink about $9.
That turkey leg, you know, it's
Yeah.
10 or 12 bucks for a
Yeah.
turkey leg.
Yeah.
So usually I gotta eat before I go out there. You
Well,
know.
and then but you can't help it. You walk in and you start smelling all that.
Right. You just
gotta
can't help
get
it.
some and-
Like, man, the pizza catch your nose, and you be like,
But
man.
you know, when you're younger, you save all your money up for the fair so you can go rides.
Right.
Remember to play games.
That's right.
Right.
And you get older, and y'all not old like I am, but old, what I do, I just walk around and eat. I take all my money, all my money goes to eating, you know, because I don't.
You spend money fast.
I
eating.
can't
Right,
ride.
right.
Yeah, I ride anything, I'll get sick, so I don't even ride nothing. And but you can. It's just fun to be out there. You know, it's just to be and you see so many people and
Right.
it's just and like I said, all the money that we raise goes back into local charities. And then we had some concerns this year about the COVID. You know, about how many people are going to show up. But we didn't want to we've been doing this, I think, 67, 68 years or something, and we didn't want to stop.
Right,
and
right,
not
right,
do
right.
it. We normally bring in around $1.8 million. We normally spend about $1.6 million. So we normally raise about $200,000 a year. Now that will be cut this year. We just don't want to lose money.
Right.
But we're not expecting to make a whole lot. But we have cut our expenses in half too. So you know, we just still need people to come out, and ticket sales have been really, really good. So I'm excited.
Good. So I have a question also. All right, with all the commotion that's been going on in the city with the teens and all, is there a restriction this year as far as like rules and regulation as far as teen entrance inside of the fair?
No, not yet. We have talked about it has not been decided, and I don't really. My gut feeling is it won't be enforced this year. But at some point, we may have to go to, if you're under 16, a parent has to be on the grounds.
Okay.
Now, they ain't got to hold your hand. They ain't got to walk around with you.
They just have to be next to you.
Just be in the
Right.
ground somewhere. And they can sit in the Coliseum if they want to. But we haven't done that yet. But again, we've never had any problems either.
Right,
I mean,
right.
the security is so tight that we have not really ever had any problems. And if you come into the fair and it looks like you're looking for trouble, you're gonna have police officers just following you around all night, and then you will go home and leave because they will make you uncomfortable. So we're not gonna put up with any of that stuff, and we haven't. And again, we ain't never had any issues. So. What you got, Blue?
You knew I had something brewing in my head.
Gotta go all the way left field.
Thinking about the.
My first instinct was when you said something about the teens, 16 and younger. I'm just like, okay, that's cool, you know. But you know, you're gonna have those group of teens that's gonna come out there without a parent. You know, they're gonna try to sneak in. They're gonna try to do whatever they can to get in. How y'all gonna deal with that?
Well, you know, again, we have, due to the COVID this year, we used to have 3 gates, and we've cut it down to 2 entrances.
Okay.
And I mean, for them to sneak in, we've got it pretty tight. I don't know where I gotta admit, when I was a younger kid, I grew up in that area, over
Right,
the
right.
Chisholm area, and we went to the fair every day. Didn't have any money, but we went to the fair every day. And
So how y'all get out
some
of
of
here?
us snuck in. I gotta admit, there was a,
Man.
back then there was a little gap that you could get through.
Oh
get in
yeah,
some
yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
But we have tightened all that up, and again, we have not had any issues. I mean, it's so much security. It's just, if you want to be a thug, that ain't the place to be a thug. You need to
You're
go
right,
somewhere
you're
else
right.
because it ain't gonna
You're
work
right.
out there.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna worry about
We
that.
don't have any issues.
You got state trooper,
Yeah.
MPD,
They're all over the place. I mean, yeah,
Man.
and the ones you don't see too, they're out there watching you. So
Absolutely.
we just want to make sure it's a family-friendly, fun event. I'm excited about y'all getting to perform.
Man,
You know,
that's a blessing.
we've never had a rapper.
Right.
Never have.
It's history.
So you
Y'all
so
are
you the first.
You're the first.
You the first.
But,
Okay.
but the reason that you are is because you're different. You know, you got your priorities in the right order. I'm not saying the other ones don't, but I'm saying the
Pretty much said.
you understand that it's a family-friendly event, and so we stress that, and
I mean,
and you understand that.
Yeah, I mean,
Right, right.
I'm definitely honored and humbled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I definitely appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. I mean, it's definitely major, so I definitely take it into consideration that hey, this is a big event.
So now, Blue, if he gets up there now and starts acting a fool,
I mean, I'll be there.
yeah, the next
But-
podcast will be me and you.
Right,
sitting there. And they gonna say, "Where's my man?
Man.
My man gone.
Man.
We done locked him up down there."
Right. He done got attacked by
Yeah.
the unarmed security.
Yeah,
you
we
know.
got it.
Man.
So let's dig a little bit deeper. So I would like to know, like, here's one of my questions that I have. Okay, why do you feel like the gun violence has increased so much more in Montgomery?
I think the gun violence has increased because I think it really starts in the family at home.
Mhm.
I think it starts with the lack of a father figure in the house. Now there's been father figures missing in houses for many, many years. Even when I was growing up, there was some situation where people, single mom, grandmother raised people. But I think it's gotten a little bit worse over the years, just to be honest with you, because I think our standards are not what they used to be.
Right.
I think we allow things that we used to not allow things. I think there's so much iPhone access,
Right,
stuff
right.
like that. There's so much that people see on the internet that you used to not see when I was a little boy.
Right.
I think all that, but that's a cop out to me. That's an excuse. I mean, you can't blame it on that. I think a lot of it is that we live in a society now where we don't have real men. There's a lack of real men.
You can say that one more time, for me?
Yeah,
Say that one more
there's a
time.
lack of-
Masculinity.
There's a lack of real men, or the perception of a real man is really, really, really warped. And a lot of these young people, they're like I was when I was a young person. I want to belong to something. I want to feel like I'm respected. I want to feel like I'm important. I want to feel like that I've got some value. And I think a lot of times the young people either don't have that in their life. They don't have that positive role model, that positive male.
Right.
They don't, when I was a little boy, my mom and dad told me they loved me on a steady occasion. My grandmother lived to be 103, and every time when I was growing up and I was getting into trouble, she would write me this letter and these notes. I used to hate when Grandma wrote me a letter because it would say something like, Doug, anybody can be a follower, anybody can go out and do bad things. It takes a real man to do the right thing. I am so proud of you. That was one that killed you every time. I'm so proud of you. And
Your conscience like,
I know, Granny, don't write me no more of these letters. I got some things I want to do this weekend. And
Oh, man.
but to answer your question, I don't think kids today are any worse than they were when I was growing up. I just think they don't have any leadership. They don't have any guidance. They don't have anybody they can turn to. So that's how I got hooked up with y'all guys, because I saw you on the news one night or something, And I said, hey, here's some guys here that really have their priorities in order. These are some real men. These are the ones that need to be the face of our community. These are the ones that the young African American guys need to look at and say, hey, I want to be like these guys, not like the guys that's in the gangs that's leading them down the roads that they don't need to go to. I mean, I see it every day in my youth detention facility. I see young people out there, and they all have the same story. They grew up most of the time in a single-parent home, no dad, don't even know who their dad is. There was some sperm donor that donated years ago that's not a real man, that's got out of their life, is not responsible for their kids, and they're gone now. And they're looking for somebody in their life to show them what a real man is, show them what hope is, that there is hope out there. You don't have to break into houses. You don't have to get on the drugs. You don't have to have weapons. You don't have to shoot anybody to be a real man.
Right.
That you can be like these guys here and have good families, have good jobs, and leading productive lives, but still doing all the things that they want to do and have fun. And so we've gotten away from that. When I got hooked up with y'all's guys, I was just so impressed with what y'all were doing, what you were talking. You're tired of this crap. I'm tired of it too. We're all tired of it. But I'm not blaming the young people. I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming us because we don't give them the leadership and the guidance they need. So we're looking at doing a program a mentoring program, a citywide mentoring program. I've got y'all involved in it already. We're still in the early stages. But the bottom line is we're going to ask real men in this community, in the city of Montgomery, in Montgomery County, to step up and be involved in one young person's life.
Okay.
And we're not going after the ones that's making good grades in school and in the choir at church. We're going after the guys that are going down the wrong path. That their next step is either the youth detention facility or the Montgomery County Jail, and that's where they're ending up. So we're going to have a very, very organized, structured, safe program that we can do. But the main thing we're going to do is we're going to give young people hope.
Right.
We're going to tell them we love them. We're going to tell them we're proud of them.
Right.
We're going to tell them I expect big things out of you, and I'm going to be there for you. When you get into situations, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to spend time with you. I'm going to show interest in you.
Right.
You're important to me. And
that's what they need to hear.
And that's what we're going to do.
Right.
And it may be, we may have 100 men step up. We may have 10 men step up. We may have 1 man step up. But if we just have 1, then we're going to have 1. And we're going to go and we're going to attack this problem that we have in our communities right now, face on, head on, and we're going to make a difference in these young people's lives. And now I got friends, I live out in Pike Road. I live on the east side of town.
Okay.
I'm over there in the white privilege section, guys, over there. But I've got friends over there that say, well, okay, that's a west side problem.
So
A north side problem. No, that's not a west side problem. No.
It's a city problem.
No, if you want to hang around long enough and think it's not happening in your neighborhood and it's not your concern, don't worry, they're coming to you. It's coming. Don't worry, they're coming. And so we need to address it, and we need to give these people hope.
So another question is, if it's so a lot of people, I do hear that a lot. It's most of the west side or it's the north side and such and all. Like I feel like personally, the west side and the north side, we don't have a lot of resources to do for the kids over there. You know what I mean?
No.
What can we expect from the county or the city? You know what I mean, to implement over on that side?
A lot of people say, well, just like you said, there's a perception there's not a lot of resources, not a lot of things for kids to do on the west side. I heard it on the east side. I mean, I complained about it 50 years ago, 45 years ago when I was that age. There's nothing to do, for teenagers. But there's a lot of stuff to do. We got the YMCA's. Are we utilizing those? How about the boys club? I grew up in the boys club.
Me too.
I grew up I spent my summers at the Chisholm Community Center. I spent my winters at the Chisholm Boys Club. We got in a lot of trouble over there too, but it was good. We didn't didn't cross too many lines,
Right.
but
Do you
Good trouble.
Do you feel like there's a lack of funds that can on the west side as far as the Boys and Girls Club to help advance it? Do you feel like that?
there are some lack of funds, and there's some things that we can do as in government that we can do to help provide maybe some more programs, but we got to get the kids there.
Right, right.
You know, we have marches in Montgomery and prayer walks, and they're all great things to do. But the people that we need to address are not doing the prayer walks.
Right, right.
You know, they're not
The
at
ones
the
that
boys'
skipping it.
club.
Yeah.
They're not at the community centers.
Right,
Their time is spent being a part of something else,
right,
a
right.
gang or a clique or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, putting resources. You know, you can always throw money at stuff. That don't mean you're gonna solve the problem. It helps, no doubt. But we've got to get these young people from Gibbs Village, the North Pass, Chisholm area, wherever it is, and get them hooked up with a good mentor that's going to spend time with them and show them, and then they can do things together.
Right.
We're going to have this so highly organized. There's going to be training. We're not just throwing, I like to say, throwing crap up against the wall and hoping it sticks. No, there's going to be training to make sure we're all safe. I've got the sheriff's department, the police department involved in this. I've got a lot of nonprofits. I got y'all guys involved. So it's going to be highly organized. We're going to have ID cards for every mentor and mentee. On the front of the card will be the young man or young woman, a picture of them with their information. On the back will be their mentors on the back.
Okay.
There will be some discounts in some restaurants here in Montgomery where they can go and eat and do stuff.
You mean the mentee or the mentor?
Mentor, both.
Oh, okay. I'm with that.
Both.
I'm with
And
that.
both of them, one will be on the front, one will be on the back.
So we can get a discount.
Yeah, you're right. You can get a kiss
Okay.
down.
Okay.
But it'll probably be where you got to be together now. But
Man.
Metro, what are you taking with
Yeah,
you?
you know, sometimes you want to go by yourself. Sometimes, you know.
Yeah,
You want to eat.
right. We're gonna figure out what people like. We're gonna do it. But also those with cars, I give them some identification. So
Right.
if they're out at night and the place they shouldn't be in, they hadn't really committed a crime yet, but the police, you call them, harassing them or whatever you want to call them, and ask them what's going on, why you out so late, they can actually call the mentor on the back and say, hey, Blue's out here, and I just want to let you know you need to talk to Blue or something,
Right.
and work on that. But
I ain't gonna lie, with the ID card, that make them feel that they're part of something.
I mean,
You know
most
what
of
I'm
these guys, I'm part of something.
Right.
And the police will actually ask them, the sheriff will ask them, are you part of the, whatever the name we come up with, the mentoring program in Montgomery? And they could say yes, and pull out the card, which I ain't gonna say it's gonna get you out of jail, but it's gonna help.
Yeah.
Or they say, no, I'm not, and then the police can introduce them and say, okay, I need you need to get involved in this.
Right.
So it's just, I mean, it's a very, very bold initiative. A lot of people are uncomfortable going into Gibbs Village. Now, I'm not going to go walk with her tonight when I leave here and walk through Gibbs Village, my lily white self through that village with my suit on. But I have no issue walking through Gibbs Village.
Right.
I ain't never had no issue walking through anywhere.
Right.
Because the perception is you'll get mugged. That's not true, man. Come on. You know, people think that, but that's not true. I've never had any issue with that. If you're looking for trouble, you can find it.
Right.
If you're not looking for it, you probably won't. But I mean, I'm very excited. We're continuing to meet. Again, we got the Y's, we got the Boys and Girls Clubs that's working with this. We got the City of Montgomery Parks and Rec with the community centers working on this.
Okay.
The law enforcement guys, but this is not a law enforcement program.
Right.
Because I don't want to intimidate people.
Right.
I want to give young men an opportunity. We're not going to adopt them. We're not going to be their foster parent. But
You just showing the right way.
we just want to show them something different.
Right.
And say, hey, if you'll stick with me, I'll do things with you. I'll be there for you to help you with school if you need it. I'll be there for you to call me when you need to talk to somebody. I'm going to be a part of your life, and I'm going to continuously tell you how much I love you, how proud I am of you. I'm going to get you through high school. If you want to go to college, I'm going to help you get to college.
Right.
If you want to go into learn a trade, I'm going to help you learn a trade. If you want to find a job and start making money, I'm going to go out and help you find a job.
That's what we need.
You know, business people that can help people, put them in a job, And so it's a very complex program, but it just really centers around real men being willing to come out a little bit of the comfort zone and take on this challenge to help, love, give hope to young people.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
That's
We're
all-
going to the left field.
Yeah, that's all they really want is a hug. You know, that's how I feel it. You know, they're just missing a hug, and we just trying to create something to cover up the void that they having. So
You
I like that.
Yeah, Blue, a lot of these young guys, they get told over and over again,
Right.
your daddy wasn't no good. You know, you ain't gonna be no good.
Oh, yeah, I
your
heard
brother
that.
ain't no good. Nobody in your family's ever done anything.
Right. Right.
You no good.
Right.
All you do is cause trouble. All you do is look for trouble. You in trouble all the time. And nobody ever tells them something different.
Right.
And sooner or later, if you keep telling them that, they're gonna believe it. Whatever you tell them, they're gonna believe it at some
Yeah,
point.
that's right.
But if you tell them that, hey, you're special. I mean, you got so much potential.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do great things in this world. I mean, I'm just, golly, man, I wish I was your age again and had your talent, had your looks, had your get up and go, whatever it is, find something positive and just continuously harp on that and build them up and build them up and build them up to the point, kind of like my grandma used to do, where I was, heck, I wanted to do something, I really felt bad doing it because she done built me up so much, you know.
Right. Right.
Got a question from one of our viewers that I wrote down. I asked a little poll earlier on some of the questions. Said, what is the violence level like outside of Montgomery that you are seeing?
Very small. We have very little crime outside the city limits of Montgomery. Our deputies, our sheriff's deputies, which I'm involved with the county, the crime rates in the areas when you leave the city limits of Montgomery it's a lot less. And I think there's a couple of reasons that it could be that way. Our police do a great job, but our sheriff's department, I know does patrols and all. Derek Cunningham is the best sheriff that there's ever been. Derek has done just a phenomenal job. I'm a Republican. Derek is a Democrat. I would vote for Derek Cunningham for sheriff over my mama. I mean, ain't nobody better. I mean, the job he does. And it don't matter which political party this guy's in. He does a fantastic job. So I think that's one reason that that it's that. But also, I think the people that live outside the city limits of Montgomery look out for each other a bit more.
Right.
A lot of times, you know, the police will get a call in Montgomery, gunshots. I hear gunshots. Well, the police goes to the house. Okay, you heard gunshots. Who's shooting the gun?
Right.
Well, I know who's shooting it, but I ain't getting involved. I just know they're shooting it, but I'm not. Out in the county, they look out for each other, I think, a little bit better.
And I think they got limited resources out
Yeah,
there too.
and if there's somebody that's breaking in or suspicious around their neighbor's house, they call and they get involved. So I think a lot of that is, you kick somebody's door down out in the country, a lot of times you're gonna get shot.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, and they know that.
Man.
You know? And I'm not telling people in Montgomery to shoot everybody when they kick the door in, but I think that's a little bit of it. I think it really comes down to, and it may sound corny, but it really comes down to hope. Hope in each young man or young woman. Do they have hope? Do they see any way out than somebody coming offering them a job to sell drugs and make it easy money, quick money, or breaking into houses, stealing TVs, easy money, quick money. I think a lot of times they don't really understand the consequences, and they don't have anybody in their life that would tell them, no, you don't have to do that. You know, you can. What do you want? What do you want in your life? And let me give you a path on how you can get to that.
Okay.
Now you can break into houses, you can sell drugs if you want to, but here's your alternative over here. You know, this is what could happen.
Right.
A lot of times I don't think they really understand what could happen. But when a young guy pulls a gun out, or a young lady or whatever pulls a gun out and makes that decision to shoot somebody and take somebody's life, they just ruined two lives.
Right.
2 families gone. I don't think they really understand that until they get into our county jail. And then in that room, and it's about as big as this table, and they're stuck in there and 4 walls, and they don't understand that for the rest of their life, they're gonna be locked up in doing that the rest of their life. They don't understand that. So we just gotta, again, it's gonna take, I keep harping on this, it's gonna take real men with real courage that's willing to be involved in these young people's lives,
Right.
that they feel like they're gonna be scared a little bit. And we gotta make sure that we're not just gonna turn them loose and say, go pick you a guy up in the west side of town somewhere and start mentoring. No, it's gonna be highly organized.
You mentioned about, when we first sat down and talked, you mentioned about going through a training for a mentor or mentee. Can you give more detail?
Yeah,
on
what
that?
we would do, we would have, initially we were looking at having 3 or 4 training sessions where we'd bring in the guys that want to volunteer. One training session would probably be with Gary Cobbs, from the director of the YMCA, he's present. Gary has a lot of extensive training in mentoring young men. One would be with law enforcement. Either the sheriff or the police department representatives would come in and talk to all the mentors about safety, what to do, what not to do, give them some good ideas about that. We would have a training on matching people up. For example, you're into music, you like music. You would probably not be a good mentor for me because I can't sing and I can't dance.
I knew it was coming.
I can't sing and I can't dance. So
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, don't put me and you up. But
I can get you on the track though.
yeah, you'll be off the track. But somebody like Blue who likes comedian and likes that kind of stuff. I mean, there's young people out there say, I'd like to be a performer in that area. Or some guys say, man, I'd love to fish.
Right.
We got fishermen.
Right.
I love. We wouldn't set up a real athlete with a nerd.
Right,
We'd set
right.
up people that would kind of match up. So it would be a lot of training, and before we ever turned you loose, and we would never turn you loose as a mentor and a mentee until we all met together.
Right.
The first meeting would be in a controlled environment, meet together, but we're going to do different things. We're going to do some community stuff. We may have some cookouts in some neighborhoods to kind of introduce the program
Okay.
to the parents, because the parents have got to be involved.
Right.
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 It's not just to go pick up a kid. It's the parents have got to be involved. We're going to do some things like trips. We may go to Six Flags. A lot of these kids ain't never been outside Montgomery.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The biscuits. We can partner with the biscuits where we can go.
Catch a couple games.
The biscuits the biscuits are such great people, and they have so many people, companies that buy tickets, that don't use tickets, that we could get tickets to just about every game for the biscuits, for people to be able to take them as a group to the biscuits game.
I got a question about that. This is gonna be way left field, way over here.
I love it.
My only concern with the biscuits is, how did y'all get the name The Biscuits?
Well, let me tell you what happened, and I wasn't involved in that at all. But minor league baseball traditionally has wild names.
Right.
There's like Lug Nuts or something like that. And they got all kind of crazy names. And the way the Biscuits name came about was they had a contest before the team started, and people could submit names.
I must have missed that one.
You missed that. But there was, there was like all the basic names, but there were some crazy names, but they settled on the Biscuits. But the Biscuits is the #1 nickname for a minor league baseball team.
Really?
It is not. There's more biscuits apparel sold throughout this country. Than any other trademark on minor league baseball.
My thing is,
I thought it was crazy.
I was looking for an animal name, like a real fierce name, and then I heard the Biscuits. I was like, what? How is that A mascot. Like, how do you?
It gives them all kind of things, though. You know, Biscuits didn't rise to the occasion, and Biscuits came out flat.
Right.
Biscuits got
Man.
buttered, you know, all
Right.
that. So,
But that was a weird name.
that was a weird name, but that's what they were looking for.
Yeah,
They looked for something
now
different.
that was one of my questions.
Uh-oh.
Second question is, you being from Montgomery.
Yeah.
First question, what high school did you go to?
I went to Central Academy.
Okay.
I was zoned to lead. We had a group of us that went to Central Academy, athletes,
Okay.
and
Okay.
From all over the city.
So you're good. You're good.
I'm a good one.
Because I was going to say, if you went to one of those high schools besides Carver High School, I was going to drill you. But
Wolverine, you know, I got two on my county commission. I got two Wolverines.
that you,
I have to listen to this crap all the time.
man,
Jeff Davis
everybody
volunteered
knows
this way.
Carver is
My
the
wife
best school
went
in
to Jeff
Montgomery.
Davis,
There you go.
but,
She's a good one.
yeah, so,
Let's back up one sec. I heard you mention fishing a little bit ago. You know, back when I was coming up, they had the fishing program. You go out to Lagoon Park, catch the catfish and all that. Why did that go away?
we still got it.
Still have it.
We have, through the sheriff's department, we have a senior citizens fishing day called a fishing rodeo, and we have a youth fishing rodeo.
Oh, yeah, I've been in that one. That's the one down about going towards Troy, right?
Going to a Troy, right
Yeah,
across
yeah.
from Sweet Creek.
Yeah.
It's the county ponds. We stock them, let everybody catch 6 catfish, and normally they catch them within 30 or 45 minutes. And they're big catfish.
Mhm.
Right.
But we do that twice a year.
Okay, what happened to it? Why did it stop going at Lagoon Park?
Well, ain't no fish out there anymore. One thing.
Yeah, I
fish
see.
out.
Yeah, I see. Why? It's
I
like
don't
it's
know
just
why
letting
they.
right down.
Yeah, I don't know why they quit doing that. That's the city of Montgomery Park. It's not
Okay.
ours. But yeah, I remember when it used to be that way. They had the fishing things out there, but we do them at our county ponds.
So it's safe to say Montgomery needs some fish.
We know there's some fish.
Montgomery needs some fish in the ponds.
And I love fried catfish.
Man.
That's
Yes, sir.
one of my favorites.
Yes, sir. Man, you all right with me. You all right. Catfish,
All right with
man.
you, huh?
You all right with me.
Yeah.
Now, my second question, are you Bama? You rolling with the Tide or you War Eagle?
Let me give you a
Oh, man. Here we
a
go.
politician's
You know, I'm a
answer. I
fan.
got a good. Wait a minute, I'm gonna give you a good politician answer on that one. Now I got a good one. I grew up an Alabama fan.
Okay.
From the time I was a little boy. Bear Bryant.
Okay.
When Alabama lost, I cried. 'Cause
Me
they
too.
didn't lose very often, you know.
Man.
But my 2 oldest daughters graduated from Auburn. My youngest daughter plays golf for Auburn right now. She's over there now. She's a junior playing
Okay.
golf. My wife's first cousin's Pat Sullivan, who was a Heisman Trophy winner, recently died last December.
Mhm.
So
So
I've got both.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good political answer. We don't make.
So-
If I answer one way or the other, I lose half my people. You know.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. If you would have said Bama, like your whole house probably would have just been like
It'd been bad.
What's
House divided.
Yeah.
Roll Tide. I mean,
your house would have been really divided. Like you probably would have called me and be like, "Hey man, you got me in a lot of trouble." And I'd be like, "Hey, I just had to ask, you know."
I wasn't gonna fall in that trap.
that's funny. What time?
Man.
Yeah, man. But we definitely appreciate this interview. Definitely for you coming out and all.
Well, here's one thing I want to say to everybody that before I get off is that we all are children of the Most High God. That's the only thing we are. We're not white. We're not black. We're not Republican. We're not Democrat. We're all one common children of the Most High God.
Right.
And until we get past this labeling people, oh, the white guy, black lady. I mean, you don't hear people say the fat guy or the skinny lady or
Well,
the ugly man. Well,
over
they
here,
might
yeah.
call
Oh,
you-
yeah.
Well, you might be an exception there, Blue, but until we get past all that
Man.
and just realize that we're all a child of the Most High God, you know.
Right.
And I don't get into political stuff, but I do say this: whoever is president, we need to support him.
Right.
I didn't vote for Obama, but when he got to be president, he was my president, and I supported him because it's stupid. If you think about it, you don't. You sit back and all you want to do is make sure the president fails, so you can fail, the economy can fail, you can lose your house, you can live. Why in the world would you not pull for whoever's president? So we got election coming up in November. And whoever is president, whether it's the Democrat or the Republican or whatever it is, we've got to support them. No matter who it is.
Right.
And get past all this. I wish we didn't have Democrat Republicans. You know, my Republican friends don't like this, but it's true. I don't vote straight ticket. I vote for people.
Right.
I go down and I pick
Mm-hmm.
the person. And again, whoever is the best person, it don't matter which party they're in, doesn't matter which religion they're in, doesn't matter what color they are.
Right.
I pick the best. And I wish we could get past, I don't know if we'll ever live, and I'll tell you one more story real quick. I'm about to run out of time, I know, but I don't know if we'll ever get past. But I grew up where I grew up in the Chisholm area. Sheridan Heights, Brookview was close to the Chisholm area. I live in Boylston, Chisholm, Boylston. So we used to have football games on Sunday afternoon. We'd have white-black games. Not because it was racial, because it was easy to determine who was on your team.
Right.
Kind of like shirts and skins in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We never had any issues on the field. Never had any, nothing at all.
No race issue.
No race issues at all. But there's so much discrimination in this world. There's so much prejudice in this world. I mean, I grew up in a time that people thought that if you got in a swimming pool with a black person, that you get black too, like you come off or something, like that black would come off in the pool. But that was kind of the way things were.
That's rough, man.
Yeah, and it's gotten better, but we're still not there. We're still a long way from there. But I'll tell you one quick story. My youngest daughter, she plays golf at Auburn. She went to school at Auburn early. She went in, graduated early from high school, went in as a redshirt. So she didn't live in the athletic dorm for the first semester.
Okay.
She lived in the general population dorm. Then they moved her into the athletic dorm. But we moved her over there. We didn't know who her roommates were. Had no idea. There was nobody there. But it was about 2 weeks or 3 weeks later when we talked to her on the phone. We said, "Burke, how's it going? Tell me about your roommates. And who's your roommates?" And she named off the names, and she never said anything about. She said, "Oh yeah, I've got so and so, and she is just so sweet. And I've got so and so. Gosh, she's so smart. I got so and so, and man, she's just."
So they have suites. They don't have.
They have 4 people in a room in the general dorms. They have 4 people, 2 baths. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So 2 people share 2 baths. But anyway, she named off who was in the room. But when she was naming them off, the names she was giving me wasn't Pam, Sue, and Jane.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, okay, this has got to be African American girls. I mean, with those names, you got to be. And but she never said a word about it.
Right.
Never. Not one time did she say, "Oh yeah, I've got 3 black roommates."
Right.
But I was thinking, Lord, behold, back in my day, if my grandmama, granddaddy, or mama and daddy even would have took my sister to Auburn and put her in a dorm with 3 black girls, they'd have probably pulled her out.
Wow.
You know, but it's not nothing against my parents. They were great parents. But that's just the way it was. And it's a shame it's that way, but it's up to us.
Right.
And especially up to y'all, as your generation continues. It's getting better. I mean, there's hope because my daughter has, if she has any, and I think we all have some prejudice in us, no matter who you are. But she has so little, that it gives me hope.
Is she watching now?
She might be, I don't know. She's in Auburn, so she might be. I told her I was talking to her before we got on the air, so.
Oh, okay.
But again, I just wish we could all here in Montgomery, Alabama, get past all this.
Right.
And
right.
come together, and I love being here with y'all guys. I love that I met you.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I love you guys, and I'm so impressed with you and what my man there's doing here in the studio. And, we Global Enterprise.
I got one.
Oh, man.
I got one final question. Well, 2 questions. It's a 2-part question.
Go ahead.
Left field questions?
One of them is,
Okay.
where do you see Montgomery in the next, say, about 3 to 4 years?
I see Montgomery in the next 3 or 4 years, if we don't change, if we don't do something with our youth,
Right.
I see us getting worse and worse. That's just honest opinion. It's not what I want, but it's, you asked me what the question
Right,
was.
right.
And y'all are fine with me. If you ask me something, I'm normally going, outside of who football team I pull for, I'm normally going to give you a straight, answer.
Right.
I tell you what, I see if we don't do something. I've got big dreams about this mentoring program.
Right.
I got this dream, these goals in this mentoring program that we don't have nearly 50 murders before the end of September
Right.
in 2021, in 2022. Now we're gonna have some. I'm not naive to
Because
think we're
I think we're on number what 47.
I think
Or
it's
whatever.
past that now.
Yeah, and so my that's one way I think we're gonna be able to measure how effective we've been.
Okay.
That's not a true measure, but I think that's one way.
I think that'll work. Really.
And,
I
but
think that'll work.
I think if we could get that under control, there's some great things happening in Montgomery.
Right.
But we've got to come together, and we got to quit having a West Montgomery, and a North Montgomery, and a South Montgomery, and a East Montgomery. I mean, we've got to get past that.
Right.
And it's going to be up to all of us, to do that. You got another question?
Yeah. My final question is, okay, I was in a band in high school and in college. So how can struggling band programs or music programs get funds to, get more kids involved in music and off the streets and everything?
You talking about high school bands and all?
Yeah, high school bands.
Well, one thing through my discretionary money for education at the county, I give as much to the bands
Hmm.
as I do to the football programs.
Right, right.
Maybe I give, let me correct that, maybe I give a little bit more to football program based on the number of participants.
Okay, okay.
But I do support the bands.
Yeah, yeah.
Helped Pike Road School buy new uniforms for the bands. I gave them $10,000 from my discretionary money. I won't do that every year because they've got the uniforms.
Right.
But I try to help both my high schools, Park Crossing and Pike Road School.
Well, I say that because, me and Ro both marched in the band, even though he went to the other school.
Jeff Davis University.
We are JD.
Right. Oh, man.
I'm sick of that, man.
I'm sick of that. We got to play them Friday. I think band programs save kids, because, you have band practice every evening. You get tired when you get home. You don't have time to do nothing but rest and do your homework because you done marched 3 hours straight.
But you know what saves kids is not the band. It's being a part of something.
Yeah, that's it.
That you
That's right.
work
That's it.
hard and that you're going to perform and you're going to be acknowledged for your hard work and your performance.
Pay off on Friday nights.
But that goes right back to hope.
Right.
True.
It
Right.
gives you
That's right.
hope, and that's the key.
Motto that we went by, and I shout out to Mr. Stephen Berry, best band director ever.
Oh.
But motto we went by was the best band is the most disciplined band, and that stuck with a lot of us throughout our lives, and it built us character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you got to be a team. I mean, you got to practice teamwork. You can't have 50 people in the band going one way and you got one
Yeah,
clown.
going the other way.
Going the other way, then you got a
Yeah.
disaster band. So.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But again, it's getting them in the bands. That's the kind of stuff we need to get them in, because most of the people in the bands are pretty good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what we need to surround. The key to life is surrounding yourself with good people.
Right.
That is the whole key, is surrounding yourself with good people that are going to challenge you and push you.
Right.
And don't hang around with dream killers. Don't hang around with people who say, you can't be a black comedian in Montgomery. You can't be a rapper in Montgomery unless you do all kind of vulgar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, that don't work. Get away from those people.
Right.
Because
Right.
they'll drain your energy from you. And you only have a certain amount of energy.
Certain
It
amount.
needs to be positive. Don't let anybody, be nice, be cordial, but say, hey, I'm going to make something out of my life. I'm sorry. I mean to move on.
So with the program that you have, so I really,
We have.
well, my bad, I'm sorry. We have, we just need to just enhance the music program, basically.
We can do anything.
Right.
We're wide open to do anything. It's endless what we can do.
Right.
But we just got to, again,
Gotta start it.
all of us got to step up.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
right.
got to
Step
be
up.
everybody.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So we want to take this time also to plug in this Saturday, September 26th.
Yes, sir.
First annual Wake Up Montgomery Organizational Fair.
Yup.
Also, you guys are still welcome to free and call to sign up. It's absolutely free. It will be at Eastdale Mall this Saturday. We on the list right now. We have Alabama State coming. We have
Trenton. We got 211.
What time?
11 a.m. to 1:30.
Okay.
Everything.
You gonna come? You gonna come?
I've got Giles Williams, former Montgomery County Commissioner, funeral at 11. But I will.
Well, you know you don't have to wear a suit. You can wear a shirt.
I got a reputation. No,
It's gonna be kind of hot now, man. You gonna have a
no,
full
I
blown
will
suit
be
on.
wearing a suit because I'll be at the funeral. So
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
the only reason.
Man, you giving me some competition, man.
You don't see my legs. I got good looking legs. I know you kept rubbing me over
Hey,
there. So
man, hey.
Yeah, you was
My
feeling
leg.
them up over here.
my
I
leg.
know you kept rubbing my legs, you know, so.
But definitely, we would like for everybody to definitely come out
Oh,
this
yeah.
Saturday, September 26th, 11 o'clock to 1:30 p.m. And
We just providing resources for people who can't get to the resources, basically. If you have an issue with teen pregnancy or teen suicide, or you need a job, or you just need mental health check, we're gonna have all that under one roof.
yep,
So all you have to do-
resume preparation also.
Right.
Which part of the mountain?
It's gonna be right where the Santa Claus.
So Santa Claus-
Oh, Santa Claus number. Okay.
He might be there, so I don't know, man. We got
I know that.
Santa though. We're gonna have a little territory beef going on. But yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all come to that, man. It's free. We're gonna have Life South there. We have diabetes check. We have COVID-19.
Got voter
all that.
registration coming
Yep,
also.
voter registration gonna be there. Census Bureau gonna be there.
Yeah, definitely.
So man, we're gonna have a lot of good stuff that's free for everybody. So
I like free.
oh yeah, me too. I get a free funnel cake at the Fattest show.
Yeah, you come on.
Oh, man.
I'll hook you up.
I'm there.
Yeah,
Turkey leg on him, man.
yeah.
Definitely, man. We thank y'all for tuning in. Again, this is Young Rowe to my right,
Comedian Blueski Blue.
and in the middle, County Commissioner Doug Singleton.
Great
Yes.
White. Elton Dean called me the Great White Hope. I call him Black Magic, so he called me Great White Hope. So we get along that way.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Peace.
And you watching the platform, and I'm tuning in live. Hey, follow me on Instagram at DJ Joy3.